Jorge, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, Timo. How are you?
Good, fantastic.
Great. Well, Timo, we're here to talk about your new tour in Mexico, quietly, that will start in October, right?
Yeah,
Well, Timo, the tour is called quietly. That means eagle or eagle warrior in Nahuatl. How did this concept emerge, and what personal meaning does it hold for you and the band?
we were thinking like what would be like something which is traditional for you guys, and also then we got some suggestions for the tour. We thought some of the cool names, and then in the end, like you said, this is Eagle, and we have this song called Eagle Heart. So we were like, all right, that sounds like a proper tour. And actually, I think it's the first time that we are actually naming a tour according to the country that we play at. So we never had this before, but this is just out of the respect for our Mexican fans.
That's great because you're pretty beloved here in Mexico. And beyond the energy of live shows, what deeper cultural and emotional connection do you feel when you perform in Mexico? And how has this relationship influenced Stratovarius music?
Well, I have to be honest that I think when I check all the like Spotify numbers from all the countries, I have to say that Mexico is number one. And of course, we've been playing quite many times in Mexico, and couple of years ago we played the first like little bit bigger tour. I think we had 7 shows, but this time we're gonna play, is it like 15 or 16? So it's like a double amount of shows, and we never played in any other country, of course, except in Finland, this many shows. So I think it's just for us, the fans are great, and this is an opportunity for us to check out also a little bit smaller cities and not always play like big places like Mexico City. So I think this is this is why we are doing it.
That's great. Well, Timo, there's more than 3 decades have passed since you joined Stratovarius. Which moment has transformed you as an artist and as a person?
Yeah, it's been, now that I think about it, of course, you don't realize it yourself except when you look into the mirror that, oh fuck, I'm a bit older now, but time has been flying so fast that it's hard to imagine it. And I'm actually very happy that I'm still able to do this, and able to earn my living and be able to tour around the world with by singing, and singing these songs, and being as the lead singer of this band. It's been amazing ride, and of course everybody changes, when they get older. That's for sure. If somebody tells me that I'm exactly the same like I was 15, I was like, uh-huh, okay, are you that stupid? Like, at least I have changed, and it should be like evolution of a human person as well. And of course, I've learned so many things, especially what comes to music and singing and touring, that I would I could give a lot of, well, I would love to give some tips to this same Timo, like when he was 25 years old. But you have to live and learn, and that's the way it goes.
Talking about this evolution, what do you think? Which aspects of your musical stance remains untouched since the 90s, and which have radically evolved?
Well, I think what comes to music, it's all depending who are in the band, who are composing the songs. And of course, as you know, we've been having quite many not lineup changes, but not in the past 15 years. But we are not the original members group. What happened to be when the band was founded? Like, when was it? 84 or 82? We are not the same. Of course, we are not the same guys. But when there's like a new guy, especially in our case, when Matias Kupianen joined the band, and he become the main composer in a way, and he's been producing the music and recording it. Of course, he's bringing a lot of effect to the music. But it's the same thing like with all the other guys. Like when Lauri joined earlier, and then later Rolf joined the band, they are all bringing their own style of playing, for example. So of course, in a way, this is natural developing and evolution of the band, and that's the way it should be. It would be kind of a stupid if we would try to repeat everything that we did like '96 or '97. I mean, that's kind of easy. You just copy paste the songs, but it's not the way it works for us. We also respect our roots, our old songs, but we also wanna keep our music, especially how it sounds, up to date. If you know what I mean.
Timo, your voice is for sure unmistakable for metal lovers. But after all
Thank
these
you.
years, how do you care for that instrument over time? And what new challenges does it present today?
Well, it's like your full body is your instrument to start with. So I start with basics that I try to, get, especially between the gigs. It's difficult for me to get some sleep, especially if you play like around midnight. Then it takes like hours to calm down, and then very often there's like a morning flight, and that's the most difficult part. Of course, I've been studying vocals, and I'm still rehearsing vocals for myself, and I've learned also a lot about my voice and how to use it in a proper way. But then, of course, if I compare my voice or anybody's voice who's been like singing constantly for 30 years, it's not exactly the same. But I'm happy that I think my voice is like a bit darker, but it's easier. It's hard to explain it, but see, it's easier for me to sing, even the old song nowadays. It might be that I might miss like some super high screaming, but they were never important to our music. But the melodies are the most important, and I'm trying to keep it that way. That I'm practicing singing and keeping myself in a healthy way that I can be able to sing this stuff. Of course, I also like to drink every now and then, but it's not the same like when I was 20 for sure. So it's there's like you have to respect your body, you have to respect your music, you have to respect your voice, and that's the way to do it. It for a singer, it's like full-time job. It's not like that I only sing like when I have a gig. No, I have to practice. I have to keep my voice in a shape. Otherwise, it doesn't work. It's not like I just go on the stage and start singing. No way. Sometimes I need to warm up longer, and sometimes it only takes maybe 20 minutes. But normally, I prepare like I want to be at the venue like at least 2 hours before the show. Sometimes it's not possible. Sometimes the flights are so late. Blah blah blah. But I want to concentrate and warm up my voice that I'm able to sing. But I've been also lucky because I actually lost my voice 2010. I got bacteria poisoning on a Halloween tour, and it took me 2-3 years to get my voice back. So it's a risky business.
Talking about the business, we all know the music industry has changed drastically with the streaming, with the social media, now with artificial intelligence. But for you, how do you position yourself in this new way of creating and consuming music?
Yeah, it has changed totally. Like I said, if I compare it to late '90s, when we were touring to be able to sell some albums, and you got some money actually from selling CDs and vinyls and so on. But nowadays it's like you, in our case, we put a lot of money to produce the album that we would be able to tour. So it's the other way around. But we are lucky because we have fans who are listening to our music, and who especially who come to see the live shows, because that's how we can still maintain making the music that we want to. We don't want to change this because of some other trend would be more popular. And music trends, they come and go. Like when I joined the band, a lot of people, actually, some of even my good friends, said that was '94, that why do you want to sing this kind of music? Nobody listens to power metal. Nobody wants to listen, because grunge was popular at the time. And I said, well, I don't do it because of the money. I just want to do this, and I believe in this kind of music, and that's how it started, and that's how it still is. Nobody in this band is doing this that we would get some cash. It's because we love this kind of music and we want to play it.
And for the time, for sorry, and at the time when singles and playlists and EPs dominate the industry and the way to make music, why does the idea of complete albums still matter to you?
Yeah, we hear this a lot. Some other bands managers, because we don't have a manager. We are managing ourselves. But it's like some other managers, they are trying to tell us that, that it doesn't make any sense to make any albums. I understand this because it takes us like few years to make the album, because the last time it took 7 years, but there was of course COVID and stuff that we couldn't travel and blah blah blah. But we still like that it's an album, and our hardcore fans, they want to buy the album, and some people want to buy the vinyl because it's like a package. It's like, well, there's like, we concentrate on tracks. Of course, like I said, it would be easier just to maybe release one song every 2 years and then just keep on touring. But at the moment we are still trying to concentrate, even though it doesn't make any sense money wise, but we still want to make an album. But let's see how it is in the next few years, but this is our plan.
That were the next question, because fans are always asking about new music. But do you have any concrete ideas or a defined path for this next Stratovarius record?
Yeah, the thing is that we changed the whole work in progress, like the way we compose with the last album. In the past, we used to compose, Matthias composed some songs and like completely, then he sent the songs to other guys. And I did the same, and Jens and Laura too. But this time, or last time, we wanted to get together and start from the zero. Basically, it was Matthias, me, and Jens sitting in my studio for months. And we were like, starting the morning with a coffee and then asking, do you have any ideas? And then maybe I had some melodies and Matthias had some riffs. And then we started working, just building the song from there, whatever comes. And then we tried to check if that song is like reasonable. And if it sounded all right, then we worked harder on it. But if it was like, we were already like, that's shit, then we just rejected it. And then we moved on to a new one. So that's why it took a lot of time. And I think it will take a lot of time this time, but hopefully not 7 years. We had one get together last year and we started composing, and hopefully we will find some time soon to get together. But this is how we try to compose again. I have already some melodies, but I don't want to start composing the full song because I want the input from Matthias and Jens. And it takes time, but we also think that it doesn't make, we don't want to release an album every second year just because somebody says that you need to release an album that you can get tours and so on. So we want to have like a masterwork. That's what we are aiming for, like a very good quality songs, but that it takes time.
Timo, in your opinion, what has been Stratovarius' greatest creative challenge over the last decade?
Challenge? Well, I think the biggest challenge was when Tolkki left the band, and then we got the new guitar player in. And at the time, we didn't know if we're going to be Stratovarius or what we're going to be. And then we started composing, and then suddenly we sounded like Stratovarius. And that was like a big step. We were like quite down as a band. There was no gigs, no record deal, nothing. And then we basically started almost from the zero. That was a big challenge. And since then, we've been slowly coming up. And now the last few years, it's been going up and up. And of course, I can always say that the next album will be the biggest challenge. But then again, I could say the same about the first album for me, Fourth Dimension, because I didn't really know what I was getting into myself. It was just, great time to sing something in the studio, and that's the way it started.